My subject is English, and the topic today that I have chosen in the applied grammar is voices. Because this is the class of the higher studies, as we already know that the voices are of two types. Voices. What are voices? Voices they apply to only transitive verbs. So the focus is what is transitive verb. Transitive verb is that verb that needs an object. So direct object is necessary for conversion of active to passive. So we have two types of voices. The first one is active voice and the second one is passive voice. Here we are provided with their basic sentence structure for active voice. For active voice, the first thing is subject. So what is subject? Subject is any noun or pronoun. The noun or pronoun that about whom we talk about in a sentence is called subject. So there are two things that are required for being a word to be subject. Number one, it should be a noun or pronoun. No other word can be subject other than noun or pronoun. If there is, that has to act as noun or pronoun. So first thing is subject, the noun or pronoun about whom we talk in a sentence. The second thing is verb. Verb has verified definition, but the main definition that we are going to take over here of the verb is action or the work done by this subject. And the third thing is object. What is object? Same like subject, object is noun or pronoun. No other thing than noun or pronoun can be object. If it is, it has to act as noun or pronoun. Now, which noun or pronoun will be object? Those nouns or pronouns that receive the action of the verb are called object. So this is the simple structure, the simplest structure for active voice. There can be auxiliaries, there can be other words, there can be adverbs, preposition, the phrases and rest of the things, but we are going to take it from the very general. So the general structure for our active voice is subject plus verb plus object. So we are going to convert it into passive voice. For the passive voice, so the student should know that active voice and passive voice are nothing, but they are the name of change of sentences structure. So what is going to be changed? The structure of the sentence. Sentence structure will be changed. The tense and the meaning remain same. Now we come to word passive voice. The structure of passive voice is this object that was the object of active voice will be converted into the subject of passive voice. So this object converts into the subject. The second thing is auxiliary. What is the auxiliary? Why we have introduced auxiliary over here? Auxiliary is, in the simple words, we say helping verb. The helping verb, if is in the active voice. If there is auxiliary between the subject and verb, an active voice. If likewise we have in the continuous tenses, in the perfect tenses, in the rest of the sentences, there is auxiliary before the action verb. If it is present in the active voice, then it will also be present in the passive voice. The second thing is the main focus is be. Which form of the be is used in passive voice? That is going to define the tense of your passive voice. So this be has 5 forms. Be, base form. This is be. It is the base form. The first form of be is am and are. You have to either use is, or you have to use am, or you have to use are. We are provided with the families over here as well. The second form that we have to take is was and were. So was and were are also the forms of be. The third form, that is when. When is also the third form of be. And the fourth form is being. How we make fourth form? We have used be plus ing. Basically, the fourth form is made by adding ing to this base form. Likewise, be plus ing being, have plus ing having, break plus ing breaking, tear plus ing tearing, fly plus ing flying. This is never first form plus ing. This is base form plus ing. Similarly, we cannot say aiming. We are saying being. So, we have to keep this thing in mind that the base form is the basic form from which other forms are usually derived. I have used the word usually, not always. But the fourth form is always derived from the base form. Now we come back to our passive voice, structure of the passive voice. Okay, we were doing from be. So we have in the given table, we have decided about the forms of be. This be will take the form of the verb of active voice. For example, it is first form of the verb used over here in subject, in active voice, sorry. Be's first form is am or are will be used in the passive voice. We will do it in the examples. The third, the most important thing that is always present in the passive voice is verb's third form. Whatever form of the verb is used in active voice, we are always going to use the third form of that verb in passive voice. So the question arises over here that which thing defines the tense if we are going to do only the third form. So the tense is defined by the form of this be. Form of this be is going to decide either it is present, it's past or future, or which subform of that tense. The third thing that we have introduced is the preposition by. That is going to convert this subject into object. The last thing is your object is converted into converted into object. We take are from active into passive. The first thing is we are going to write that structure again. Your subject in active voice will be converted into the object in passive voice. The second thing is verb. It varies with tense. The third thing is object. Your object will be converted into subject of the passive voice. So this object is converted into subject. This auxiliary. We have already read that auxiliary will be present in passive voice if it is present in the active voice. The third thing is be. Or be is going to define the tense of the passive voice. The next thing is verb's third form. This verb will take the third form in the passive voice. So the things that we should know before doing passive voice is the forms of the verb and preposition by, and this your subject. This subject is converted into object. So the first tense we are going to take into consideration is the simple present tense. We also call it present indefinite tense. So the present indefinite tense, we know that it takes subject plus verb's first form. Verb's first form. This verb's first form, either this one or this one, will be used in simple present tense before adding the object. So, okay, this is first form of the verb that will be used in present indefinite tense or simple present. I have summarized it into number 1. In this number 1, we are going to use both base form without s and the form with s. Likewise, we are going to do subject plus verb's first form plus object. So we add this form for present indefinite tense in the simple sentence in which we are not going to do the interrogatives or negatives. We are just going to do the affirmative or assertive sentences. This first form plus object. So we come to word. So we come toward a simple present tense. This is subject plus verb first form I have already mentioned over there in the table. And the third thing, the next thing is object. So here we say she. What is she? She is the pronoun. I have already defined that subject is a noun or pronoun. This she is pronoun and we use it for the third person singular female instead of the third person female. And this is first form of the verb using s, and the next thing is object. The definition of object is a noun or pronoun that takes the action. Okay, this action falls on chair. Okay, what is she breaking? She is breaking the chair. This chair is noun, the name of a thing that we use to sit on, having 4 legs. So this chair is noun, she is pronoun, and breaks is your first form of the verb. Subject, verb and object. So this object will be converted into subject. This chair is converted into object chair. Now, if there is a chair, we will write a chair. If there is the chair, we will write the chair. But if it is sample chair, it will be sample chair. We cannot add or delete articles by or on in the voices. We cannot say she breaks a chair or she breaks the chair or she breaks chairs. No, we cannot use even in plural. So if we are going to do this thing, it is going to cross our passive voice. This is going to be wrong. Now we are going toward our next passive voice. First structure is your object is converted into subject. Our chair is converted into chair. Now this chair was object in active. It is converted into subject of the same active voice. So the next thing is. From where we have got this is. There is no is in simple present tense. From where this is introduced in our passive voice. For answering this question, we have to go to our table. So, we have said that we will use the form of be. The form of be, as we have known that in the first simple present tense, we have used word breaks in the sentence. Breaks is the first form. Breaks is the first form. So, we are going to use the first form of be. First form of be. Either we are going to use is, am, are, or. So, this chair is singular. Chair is singular. If we go to is family, we will come to know that singular nouns take is. Singular noun take is. So, we have used the word is with chair. Here, this is used as be, not as the basic auxiliary. So, this be is, this is used in place of this structure be. So, this be and is same. The third thing is verbs third form. Verbs third form. Our first form was used breaks. So, our third form of break is broken. So, we have used the word broken over here plus by over here, and this subject is converted into, subject is converted, which was she into her. Now, we are going towards simple past. Simple past takes subject, verb second form. So, we can see over here that tear is the first form, tear is first, and base form, tor is second form. So, second form shows that this is the simple past or past indefinite tense. The next thing is article used with a noun, the pages. So, I told some particular pages. These pages are noun. As you know that the noun that take the action of the subject is called object. So, this object, as we see, is converted into the subject of passive voice. Now, from where this word came? This is the same formula that we have used earlier in simple present tense. Word is the second form of be. Word is the second form of be. So, all we need to know is the form of be. Form of be is the key to your active and passive voice. So this word shows that we have used the second form of be. We are not using it as the auxiliary, basic auxiliary of continuous tenses or progressive tenses. We are using it as be because it is also the form of be. The pages were, so they are plural. So we use over here, we can say that plural nouns take verb. Plural noun take verb. So the pages, this is not a single page. There are more than one pages. The pages were, tear, tore, torn, tearing. Now this is the third form. We have mentioned over there in our table. Tear, tears, tore, torn and tearing. This term is the third form and our passive voice. By is the same preposition in me. I is converted into me. Now we come towards simple future tense. Before coming to the simple future tense, I want to introduce you to the new auxiliaries, two auxiliaries, shall and will. So, when you talk about shall and will, right now in language and linguistics only will is used. Shall is obsolete, but still there are the books that consider shall to be the part of the language, so we cannot ignore them. So, what are the subjects that are taking will? He will, she will, it will. Singular noun means Sarah. Sarah is singular noun. Sarah will. Plural nouns Sarah and John. Sarah and John will. You will, they will. But when we are talking about shall, I shall and we shall. We can also use I will, we will, but we have to consider this formula as well. So for the simple future, we are introducing the auxiliary shall. So which type of auxiliary is shall? Shall is modal verb. We also call the modal verb. So modal verbs are always followed by the base form. Which form? We can say he can do it. She could run fast. So whatever the subject is, after the modal verb, you always use the base form of the word. Which form? Base. So we, subject, shall, auxiliary. This is the thing we were talking about earlier in the formula, that if there is an auxiliary in the active voice, there will be the auxiliary in the passive voice. So this is the auxiliary we were talking about, not this one. So shall is the auxiliary we have introduced for simple future or future indefinite tense. The next thing is the base form of fly. As you can see in our table, fly is the base form of the verb. How we know that this is not the first form? First form is also fly, because before fly there is shall. Before fly there is shall. Before fly there is shall, which shows shall is the modal verb, and modal verbs are always followed by base form. The next thing is your object. Your object is converted into the subject. Similarly, not the kites or few kites, nothing like that. Simply kites, kites. Okay, kites, we know that they are plural nouns. So plural nouns will not take shall, they will take will now for making the future. Kites will. Now, which form of be? Which form of fly was used over here? It was the base form. It was the base form. So we are going to use the base form of be. So be itself is the base form. So kites will be flown by us. So in these three sentences, we have seen that broken, torn and flown. All of them are the third form. So this third form is not going to decide which tense is this. So which thing is deciding? That is decides that it is present tense. Were decides that it is past tense. Will decides that it is future tense. That is it for today. You guys are required to take out the simple sentences having the transitive verb and try to convert them into the passive voice as per these formulas and these form. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.